spirit on air.
It's 12 o'clock. And now, live from Iowa's leading news station, Allison Gilman and John McLaughlin. This is TV-8 News Live at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. A Missouri jury remains undecided today on whether Andrew Six should be sentenced to death for killing a 12-year-old Ottumwa girl. The jury convicted Six of first-degree murder yesterday in the April 1987 stabbing death of Kathy Allen. Allen's body was dumped in a Missouri ditch. And opening arguments are expected this afternoon in the first-degree murder trial of Yvette Louisel. Louisel, a former Iowa State University student, is accused of stabbing to death a disabled Ames man for whom she posed nude during art class.
An Ottumwa man fired last October after that Amtrak train wreck in southern Iowa is going back to work. Tim Sundquist worked for the Burlington Northern Railroad at the time of the crash that injured 122 people. An investigation by Burlington Northern showed Sundquist failed to set a track switch to prevent the Amtrak train from crashing into some rail equipment. But a federal probe showed that was one of several errors that caused the crash. Sundquist will be reinstated in his job without back pay.
The 18th annual National Hot Air Balloon Championship gets off the ground tonight in Indianola. Now, this is the last year the event will be held here in Iowa before it moves on to its new home in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. TV-8's Dana Carden is in Indianola, where there's plenty going on to get ready for opening night tonight. Dana, how are things going there?
Well, things appear to be falling into place, Allison. We're high atop the Indianola Balloon Field, where all the activity will taking place tonight. We have some of the concessionaires in the background getting ready to feed the big crowds that are expected to turn out this week. And, of course, the balloonists are starting to show up in Indianola this morning. They were headed towards Simpson College, where all the registration process is taking place. There they have the top 100 balloonists will be competing for the championship trophy. And, of course, a number of other balloonists will be in Indianola as well to take part in some of the pleasure flying. And, of course, the spectacular mass ascensions, which will be taking place through the course of the week. Of course, while ballooning is the main focus of the week, it's not the only thing out here because they're going to a lot more types of entertainment. We have rock groups coming out here, country bands, all sorts of things to keep the spectators happy in between the ballooning events. And of course, Judy Porter is with the Balloon Classic out here, and she's been arranging some of the new entertainment out here. And one of the things coming out this year is called Night Glow. Why don't you tell us what that is about?
The Night Glow extravaganza will be held nightly at 8:30. Balloonists will come back to the launch site, and they will light up their balloons against the moonlit sky, and it'll be a really awesome sight. So we're encouraging people to stay for the Night Glow, as well as the drawing every night for a free balloon ride.
I know trying to get this additional entertainment is something you've been working on for years. Has that been working out for you?
Yes, everything's going great. We want to encourage people to stay and relax, and many Iowans aren't used to traffic, and we'd like for them to relax and then go home.
Well, let's talk about the traffic a little bit. Sometimes that can be a little bumper to bumper out there if you don't plan ahead of time.
If people would come early between 3 and 4 o'clock, there will not be heavy congestion of traffic. If they would also think about the alternate route, which is posted on Army Post Road and 6569, which will bring them into the east side of the site.
Okay, there's a big parking lot out here, a big balloon field, and one of the ways you're attempting to pay for all this is with an admission fee. That's something that's relatively new. How has that been working?
It's working great. It's a very reasonable fee. We want to keep the fee low for families, so it's good, affordable entertainment. It's $2 for adults and $1 for children 12 and under.
No indication that that fee is keeping people away from watching the balloons?
No, no indication.
Okay, and then, of course, the Balloon Museum will be opening its doors tonight.
3:30, we're having a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the museum, and we encourage people to come down early for that.
What advice do you have for the folks coming down here? Bring cameras and such?
Always bring cameras. Film is available on site, and get ready for a spectacular array of color.
Okay, Judy, thank you very much. Of course, the first event will take place tonight at 6 o'clock, weather permitting. I think it might have to cool off a little bit. It might be delayed a little bit before the balloons get up. But things will get going, and if you're looking to take a look at some of the balloons, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock at night are usually the best times to show up out here. Entertainment all the time.
Always a spectacular sight. Thank you, Dana. The Iowa Electric Light and Power Company has issued a peak alert today for its 200,000 customers around the state. Temperatures are expected to hit the mid-90s today, and that's prompted the company to ask customers to conserve power until 7 o'clock this evening.
Federal lawmakers say they'll work double time to get House and Senate differences over drought aid worked out. The conference committee will be in charge of reconciling those problems. The conferees want to have a final version of the drought relief legislation to President Reagan in about a week. Yesterday, the House and Senate each passed its own version of the drought relief bill. Each bill totaled about $6 billion. Iowa Agriculture Secretary Dale Cochran and Iowa Congressman Dave Nagel will hold a news conference at 1 o'clock this afternoon at the State House to comment on the drought legislation.
Just hours after the movie Cry Freedom premiered in 30 South African theaters, police there seized the film. The film about the late South African black activist Stephen Biko sparked violence across the country. Authorities say a bomb exploded in an empty theater where the film was to be shown, although no injuries were reported. And bomb threats made early in the day forced officials to close other theaters. The threats are believed to come from conservative white South Africans. The South African government had ruled the film could be shown in its entirety.
Wildfires raging in South Dakota threaten homes on the outskirts of Rapid City today. State fire officials have ordered hundreds of families to leave their homes. The fires already destroyed 15 houses. South Dakota's governor is offering a $10,000 reward for information about the suspected arson fire. Firefighters say they have the blaze about 80% controlled.
John, that South Dakota fire is less than 3,000 acres, and it's tiny compared to the blaze underway at Yellowstone National Park. About 12 fires at the park in Wyoming have blackened 107,000 acres. The Old Faithful geyser and a park village are out of danger, though. Firefighters are controlling fires with what's called burnouts, where controlled fire is used to stop the spread of the uncontrolled blaze. An Oakland, California bus driver is dead and 4 passengers injured after they were gunned down on their way to work this morning. Police say 4 young men boarded a public bus in Oakland, and one of them opened fire with an automatic weapon. Police say they have no motive for the attack, and so far there have been no arrests. The Blank Park Zoo is showing off a new exhibit today. He's Zach the Asian Lion. Zach is the first male lion to be exhibited at the new zoo since it reopened in 1986. The 367-pound animal is a gift from the Knoxville Zoological Park in Tennessee. Now, Asian lions are considered an endangered species. Only 239 remain in the wild, and they're found only in a forest in India. In about 3 weeks, Zach will be introduced to one of the zoo's 3 female Asian lions. And you know, John, I think it's kind of hot outside for Asian lions or anyone else to be thinking of romance. Warm out there.
I don't know. Yeah, it's warm, but I don't know about too warm to be thinking about romance. Anyway, all the ingredients are there for a thunderstorm development this afternoon. It looks like northwest Iowa will get it first, and maybe southeast half of the state later tonight. So we'll bring you up to date on the weather after this.
For the latest official weather forecast, 24 hours a day, call TV-8 Weather in Des Moines 262-7173 or toll free in Iowa 1-800-262-7173. Another extra from TV-8 News.
Well, it's a little warm and windy right now to be flying balloons down in Indianola, but hopefully later tonight those winds will subside. They're supposed to, but could see some thunder shower activity moving through the area later this afternoon. We're at 83 degrees right now, south winds at 13 miles an hour. 63% relative humidity. Our dew point is 70, plenty high for thunderstorm development, and the barometer now steady at 30.05. Around the state at this hour, we're seeing temperatures already climbing into the mid to upper 80s, especially off to the eastern section of the state. 84 in Ottumwa and Cedar Rapids, 85 in the Waterloo area. Slightly cooler weather up to the northwest part of the state, with Sioux City now reporting in with 77 degrees. The Spencer area, 79. A look at morning lows. Ames was the coolest, 64 degrees, 69 in Des Moines. And where we get down towards the southeast, that's where most of the heat stayed overnight. 72 in Ottumwa and the Burlington area, 65 in Mason City, 69 for you folks up in Fort Dodge. And around the country, plenty of warm weather again in the midsection of the nation, but the heat is gradually shifting off to the east. Some cooler weather back behind this couple of frontal systems, but it's not that much cooler is the problem. Temperature is only around 5 to 10 degrees cooler, but I guess that will be a relief when it finally gets in here, Saturday night into Sunday. A look at the current satellite picture reveals a couple of weather systems that will be affecting us. This is a cold front now coming down through the Dakotas, and another disturbance coming up through Kansas and Missouri. We'll take a little bit closer look at this, and you can see a wide band of clouds. This is the area here and here that we're watching for thunderstorm development. As we get the daytime heating of the sun this afternoon, expect to see thunderstorms popping up in this area. They're already developing in that area as this frontal system continues to push towards the southeast relatively slowly, and we have disturbances working up from the north, so they're going to kind of clash together, and things might explode a little bit later this afternoon. Here's where the thunder shower and thunderstorm activity is occurring right now, just a little bit to the north, but again, expect to see that line develop a little later in the afternoon. So for today, 50% chance of showers in the northwest, 30% across much of this area you see here, and those showers coming up from the south could clip southeast Iowa later tonight, a good chance around 40%. The only area that might miss out late this afternoon will be the northeast. They're talking about a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures, as you can see, statewide in the 90s. Now for Des Moines and central Iowa, expect partly sunny skies, very warm, 30% chance of showers, high around 92 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, shower chance goes up to 40%, but the winds will taper off a little bit south and light with a low around 70. And then for tomorrow, partly sunny, a slight chance of thunderstorms. We're talking about 20%, a high, a little cooler, only around 90 degrees. Extended forecast. No rain in sight through Tuesday. Temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Sunny right now, just a few clouds out there, 83 degrees.
Those light winds tonight might make it perfect for that night glow that Mrs. Porter was talking about.
And maybe a little lightning in the background to help illuminate the balloons.
Oh, I don't think they'd like that too
No.
much. We'll be back with today's stocks right after this. At the New York Stock Exchange this morning, the market is higher in moderate trading. Volume the first 3 hours, 105 million shares. The Dow Industrial Average is up nearly 20 points. Advances outnumber declines 2-1. Midwest cattle prices this noon are untested. Butchers lower, sows lower. Mid-morning Chicago Board of Trade, corn, beans, and wheat all up today.
Well, let's go now to Dolph in the Midday studio with a look at what's coming up today on Midday.
Well, John, today on Midday, Mary will continue her talk with writer-director John Hughes about his latest projects. And we'll take you to the gym as we continue our bodybuilding series. This time, the over 35 age group will get into the act. Coming up next.
Great. Thank you, Dolph.
Okay, it's going to be a warm one today. Temperatures around 92. A chance of thunderstorms this afternoon.
That's your TV-8 news and weather this Friday noon. Thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Monday.